Hey man, are we going to keep getting the same guys at MVP, or could we just get somebody different, somebody out of maybe out of left field this year? That's kind of one of the big things I'm hoping for is a bit of a shakeup. Obviously, I want it to be Kyler Murray, but I would just enjoy some different faces at the top of that list. So that and more we'll start getting into here in a second. This is We Are the Game. I'm Luke, and that's Michael. I kind of tried to point here and then there, and that was confusing. Today we're going to do a little segment we call Grade McCrazy, where I give Michael 5 topics to grade using the Tier Maker tier list tool. And he has to grade them A, B, C, D, F, like old school grading system. A is the craziest idea. You're more grading the crazy than the actual idea. So he has to label 1 as A. He can only use each grade once. So one of them has to be the absolute craziest nonsense he's ever heard. And F would be, yeah, this is, of course, absolutely going to happen, and everywhere in between. So when we'll get into this and then see what he goes with. Now, here we are. So first of all, I've got a non-big 3 wins MVP. And now by big 3, I mean Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen. So not one of those guys. Anyone else wins the MVP. That's my kind of goal here. Then we got like a yin-yang kind of one here. It's like the Pittsburgh Steelers have been floating at 9 wins, 10 wins. Seems like ever since the Super Bowl, pretty much. That's not accurate, but it seems like a long time. And I think he's very quietly on something of a hot seat, maybe just warm seat. We'll see. More and more fans seem to be up for some change. We'll see what happens. They're not real big on firing coaches in Pittsburgh. So basically, this is the next 2 is, will he get fired or will he get extended? Which one's the crazier idea? Next, back in 2020, Jamal Adams, set the record for sacks for a safety at 8.5. That's a rather approachable, or at least seems approachable, kind of record to maybe challenge this year. Last year we had it. I think it was Derwin James. My brain just kind of skipped a beat, but someone had 5.5. So it's not like, oh, we're way off. 22.5 sacks, and last year the leader had 17. I was like, no. This is 8.5, and guys are kind of flirting with those numbers as it is. So could that record get challenged this year? And then last but not least, maybe Kansas City has a pretty good year, but maybe their division somehow just steps up and sweeps them. The Raiders have played pretty well against them in the past. Denver played them tough twice last year. You just need the Chargers to kind of get with the program. So there you go. Those are my crazy takes for this week. Let me know what you think and how you want to grade them.
Wow, that's a good list. Let's kind of walk back through them. Non big 3 QBs. Yeah, I mean it's definitely possible to see that happening. I think I don't know. I have my concerns with the Chiefs and like how they're gonna come back and stay in the same general success that they've had. Josh Allen, he does so much. It's like, man, how long is he going to be before he gets potentially injured? It only takes one to solve that problem. And then Lamar sharing the load with so much other talent. They're going to be able to repeat another 5, crazy number of stats that they had this last year with the high-powered offense they had. I could still see there being the potential for a different MVP in that for sure. The Tomlin situation is quite a quandary, right? It's one of the things you kind of respect about Pittsburgh. It also seems kind of, I don't know, part of me feels like it's a little bit unfair given the musical chairs quarterback situation they've kind of had there over the last few years. And like, okay, what are we really judging him directly off of in terms of success? One could say, man, he's not been successful as they'd hoped. And another could say, well, given the disappointment that has been in those areas, maybe he's been even more successful than should be expected. I don't know. So both of those will be interesting. The safety sack record, it is like one of those where it's like, man, this is achievable, but nobody ever seems to really get there, And so, that's a tough one as well. And then, as I already pointed out, Kansas City getting swept by division. I think that division's made a lot of improvements in a number of different ways. But at the same time, I kind of feel like the Raiders in particular, if they sweep Kansas City, I would find that to be pretty awe-inspiring. So I'm going to say that Kansas City getting swept by division, I think that's going to be the least likely. I think that's going to be the F. Meaning that. Say that again.
A is the least likely.
The least likely. Sorry. Yeah. I think that Kansas City is more than likely going to not get swept by their division.
Right.
Just to fit in as many double negatives as I can. I think that while I totally understand the argument on the Tomlin side, history suggests that somehow he will end up with a extension. So I think that the extension is going to be he will most likely get extended, and then he will least likely get fired. So I think I'll take B and D on those, respectively.
So you're saying he's not going to get fired and he will get extended, more likely.
Yes, correct. Correct. Let's see. So I think the safety sack record, man, I'm trying to think which one I think is more likely. I mean, I think that the quarterback, assuming no injuries, right? Then, it's hard to think that one of those three is not going to be the MVP. I'm trying to even think of what it would take for someone. I mean, Dak to come back to his form, and he has more firepower to throw to. I could see that potentially. So, part of me has a feeling on the Broncos and Bo Nix, but that would be really something. Jaden Daniels still floating around. I'm going to say that this is this one's a C, and that'll leave the safety record safe for now as an F. So what do you think? I can see this one being one where we differ in opinion quite a bit.
So just to make sure one more time, and maybe I have to change the grading system, but like you're saying that the safety sack record is the most likely thing to happen?
No, opposite.
10-4.
Boom. Sorry.
Oh yeah, someone other than Allen, Mahomes, and Jackson winning is the most likely.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I may have to change this system. If it's still confusing us, I can't imagine what it's doing to the viewers.
Everyone else. But where are you on these? Because I could see there being some real differences on this one, especially on the Tomlin one.
As they relate to each other, I don't know which one's craziest, not so much, but like to me, I kind of agree with the MVP take because last year Baker had 40 touchdowns, I believe. I think Jalen Hurts had close to 40 touchdowns. I think a lot of them are from the 1 yard line, but you know what I mean. Like he still had 40 touchdowns. Oh my gosh, I just lost his name. Sunshine from the Chargers. He's had a 40 touchdown season, I believe.
Herbert.
Justin Herbert. Yeah. So it's there are a lot of guys out there that I think could challenge. I mean, if Aaron Rodgers somehow puts it together one more time, he's had I think he's had 2 MVPs in the last 5 years or something. So granted, a lot's kind of happened in the last 5 years, but
also true.
Yeah. So there are people there. I agree with Tomlin getting extended more than likely. For reference, his current contract structure, he just signed in June of 2024, and it goes through 2027 theoretically. But if he played through this season, that would be 2026. So the idea would be that he'd get fired next offseason, having 1 year left on his contract. Maybe 2 seasons, how that lines up. But anyway, so it's not unheard of. I think that he would have to have a really bad season and probably lose kind of control of the locker room as well.
Yeah, which is hard to imagine.
Yeah, I don't think it's real likely, but it is something people have talked about a lot. And it was something like they've had 3 coaches in the last 55 years or something like that total in Pittsburgh, or something like, I can't remember. I should have looked that up before I said it.
And they take pride in that.
Yeah, no, it is. Consistency is a good thing, and they really like that. So the safety sack record, I'd love to see, especially Buda Baker, of course. But he doesn't have. I think the most he's ever had in a season was like 4. So It doesn't feel like something they're going to use him for, but hey, you never know. And the whole Kansas City, that one is I don't want to say a pipe dream because I don't really care that much about Kansas City, but it's that division does look like it's getting better. And I lost you for a second there.
Yeah.
The division does look like it's getting better. And if Kansas City drops down much at all, like if their defense finally starts to get a little old or just comes down just a bit, that's what you would need to happen in some perfect storm kind of thing. So we'll see. That one, I agree that that's probably the least likely. You're counting on them to lose 6 games kind of at all. I mean, that's 11-6, which is already well under what I predict them to be. I think we just talked about recently. So yeah, that one's probably the least likely. So yeah, I would agree with most of these here. There might be some slight shifts, but it wouldn't be like, no, the A's the F and vice versa. So yeah, that's pretty much what I got, man.
Yeah, good list.
Yeah,
the Tomlin one's particularly both intriguing and challenging, I think, in a lot of ways. Because, like you said, there is a lot of talk on that one.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how much organizational talk is there versus just fan fiction, for lack of a better word. So, yeah,
we'll see. But anyways, I guess that'll wrap this one up.
Yep.
Special thank you real quick to everyone who subscribed. Really appreciate it. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers by the start of the 2025 season, which is still 90 something days away, I believe, but that's kind of our goal. So we really appreciate any likes and subscribes and whatever clicky things you feel like doing. Drop us a comment and tell us how weird we are for thinking what we think or how stupid the grading system is. That's perfectly fine. I'm still not that attached to it myself. But yeah, just let us know what you think. And with that being said, y'all have a fantastic day, and we will see you next time.